Okay, number 3 is still my favorite stock.
Yeah.
Just because it's been my favorite stock the past 5 years. Probably the stock I've literally made the most money on.
Facts.
And it's the company I just truly believe the most in because it has a foothold on America, and that is Apple.
Facts, right? And I don't think this one we gotta oversell you guys on.
Yeah.
But Apple, again, because for a short period there, people continue to question Apple's innovation. And wondered if it can stand the test of time with all the disruption that's happening in the market. But Apple is leaning AI first. As you know, they're making integrations with Siri.
Yep, have it on my phone right now.
Right, which, at the end of the day, Siri, which we may or not realize it or not, has always been artificial intelligence, right? We've just seen an emergence of what that looks like now, right? And so Apple, with its dominance in market share, and because of how the foothold that they have in product, right? 'Cause here's the thing, your apps mean nothing without the technology that it stands on.
Yeah.
Right, which is why they had that friction with Facebook and ads and things of that nature, or the 30% that they were taking from anybody who sold any product in the App Store, right?
Yeah.
And so we got to understand that because of Apple's foothold in the physical products that they own, all they have to do is always make those software updates to continue to iterate and expand in that sector, right? So we know that Apple is no secret to innovation. They understand what's happening in the market. They have strong market share, and they have a strong moat because Apple has created an ecosystem where once you get into the ecosystem, it's hard to get out, right?
You know what? I look at Apple as the IRS of technology.
That's fair.
No, because literally, like you can sell whatever you want on my platform, but I need that scratch. I'm gonna need my 20%. I'm gonna need my 20%. I'm gonna need my 30%.
Yeah.
I think I told you the other day. I tried to boost the Instagram post through Apple on my phone, and Apple charged a 30% fee on top of the money I was trying to boost the post on Facebook. So they can literally be like, you can do whatever you want, but we need our scratch first. So like, they're the IRS of technology. Y'all heard it here first. If anybody steals it, y'all heard it here first. Anyway.
Facts, right? So Apple will continue to be a strong. Now, granted, are they leaning more towards a value company than a high growth company? I would say, but it's a company I would want to own for the foreseeable future for sure.
1,000%. 1,000%. All right, number 4, I'll let you speak on this one, but it is Amazon.
Yes. And I know many of you have stuff in your Amazon cart right now as we speak, right?
I think you're single-handedly raising the stock price of how many packages I see get delivered to your house on a regular basis. First of all, okay.
Well, they're not all mine. First of all, but secondly, I am doing renovations to my house, right? So I'm buying little odds and ends. But yes, Apple is getting their fair. Amazon is getting their fair share out of me. So AWS, which actually is a part of Amazon, that many people don't think about, but their cloud services make up a very strong portion of the revenue they generate.
Yeah, because they have a partnership with the NBA and the NFL and all that as well, right?
Yeah. They're cloud computing, right? Okay. So AWS remains strong. Obviously, we know a few years ago they acquired Whole Foods, which gave them distribution in the market in terms of fresh food.
Man.
Like chess moves, right?
Chess moves.
Seeing things 17 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Right. And I think AWS's profit margin is like north of 25%, and for such a high growth company, even though it doesn't seem large, that 25% that they're getting for the revenue that they're generating is substantial, right? And we know that Amazon is known for continuing to aggressively reinvest in growth. And so with that, plus the AI-powered tools that they're leaning into, as you can see a trend, the companies that are currently on the list, or a lot of them at least, are thinking AI first or AI-centric when it comes to innovation and growth. And that's why we believe that Amazon will continue to be a staple in your portfolio as well.
And I think one of the most one of the most unknown things about Amazon, or at least underrepresented things about Amazon that the public doesn't see, is they're not just focused on the shipping of goods to your house. Like that's a main pillar of the business.
Right.
But they branch into the AI space. They branch into the AWS. They branch into by purchasing Whole Foods. So they're dominant in one market, but they're also putting their tentacles in other places to build diversification and stability in the company.
Yeah, the one thing I love about publicly traded companies, one, they have to disclose everything they're doing.
Yeah.
So that gives you a front row seat to how to think about your small business, right? Just because you're not doing billions of dollars in revenue doesn't mean that you can't take some of the core tenets of what they're doing to make decisions in your business, right? How are they allocating resources? Like one thing we always say all the time in our company is we look at our company as a diversified portfolio, right? It's all about resource allocation, right? And when you think about portfolio that has sector rotation or whether you need to rebalance it, right? What you're saying is, okay, we're doing really good here. Let's take a little bit. We still believe in this over here. Let's take a little bit of those profits and move it over here, right?
Yeah.
So like when something's doing really well in your company, yes, you should be focused and continue to grow that. But how can you rotate some of those profits into another area to further create your moat, stabilize your business, and expand at the same time?
Okay. Now this next one, this one was surprising to me because I'm actually not down on this company. I just was, for the first time in the last 10 years, fearful of what the future held for them.
Yeah.
And that is Google.
Yeah.
Right? With AI and ChatGPT, like I stopped Googling stuff like 3 months ago, bro.
Yeah.
I just asked ChatGPT, can I get a more robust answer? So I'm really curious to know, why you believe that people can, have faith in Google going forward.
Yeah, they're still the leader in digital advertising, right? There's no secret there.
Yeah.
And they are doubling down on their own AI, right? So people are now they're thinking like, okay, well, comparing search to ChatGPT, I'm leaning ChatGPT because ChatGPT can search the whole internet. But Google is also doubling down on their own version, right, which is Gemini. And as a result of that, we can't knock the fact that the data, right, that Google has access to and how that will influence the development of their AI products, right? So for me, I do think there'll be a short-term impact with the disruption? Of course I do, right? And we think we've already seen some of that. But I think long-term, with the sheer size of the company, right, I believe that they will evolve. I believe that they will make adjustments. And I believe that because of the data that they have access to, it will continue to be something that can be a great company for the foreseeable future.
All right. This next company was probably, if it was a trophy for comeback kid of the year, a comeback company of the year, because I remember this company, people were,
in 2022,
people were digging the grave, saying it's over, calling this young buck, all types of, names and putting negativity, saying he don't know what he's doing, he lost his edge. And then he came back and showed them who he is.
Right.
And that is Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, now known as Meta, which had one of the greatest rallies that we've seen in recent years. And their stock prices up at all-time highs. And they've now gotten to the space of virtual reality, which I think was a great move. So just... I love this company, but give me your insight on why people should stay invested.
I remember like it was yesterday, and I had the receipts to prove it, as always, right? People were just, like you said, beating up Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and all the decisions that they were making. But I looked at the balance sheet, and I looked at the company as a whole, and I knew that this was going to be a company that was still going to do well for the foreseeable future. Now, when we look ahead, again, when it comes to their ad revenue, significantly strong. We know that personally and intimately, right?
Zuckbucks. Okay, we have a certain allocation of the revenue in our company, and we title this Zuckbucks. So that is Mark Zuckerberg's money. Okay,
right, not ours. We know, just like the IRS, right? So if Apple is the IRS of the technology world, then Apple is not Apple, but Facebook or Meta is the IRS of what, the advertising
world. I need all of that. Okay?
Yeah. So when I think about Meta, the reason why I'm so bullish on it is because now they're leaning into AI when it comes to their ad platform. So you think about all the ad agencies that people are spending all this money to run their ads. The general consumer is now going to be able to go direct to Facebook and say, hey, I want to reach these people. This is what I sell. So how many more people you think are going to get in the ad game? Because before they're like, oh, I'm not spending $10,000 a month on an agency and giving them 30% of my revenue. I could just go directly to Facebook, right? Tell Facebook what I want, because now it's AI generated and they can create the creative as well, right? You're going to see an advanced amount of people getting into the advertising game because there's no barrier to entry, right? We don't run our own ads and we're very smart, right? So what does that tell you? That means there's going to be so many everyday consumers that are going to be getting into the advertising game because Meta is going direct to consumer and eliminating the middleman. And not to say that you couldn't go before, it's just too complicated. Looking at that dashboard, not knowing what it means, that is gonna go away, and the everyday person is gonna be able to say, hey, I sell these necklaces or candles, shout out to Connie. I sell these candles, here's who I'm trying to target. They're gonna do the creative, they're gonna do the targeting, everything you need to know as if they were your own ad agency. Why? Facebook is incentivized because that gets them more market share. Now more people are gonna get into the market, it's gonna continue to grow their ad business, now grow their AI base because they're using AI to do it, which I I believe I'm super bullish on Meta for the foreseeable future. Not to mention their propensity for acquisition, right? So who knows who's gonna be in their acquisition targets to further bolster their
They bought WhatsApp, they bought Instagram, and for billions of dollars. They're not scared to spend any money.
Right. So it'll be very interesting to see, but I believe that Meta is going to take the world by storm.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, you saw my facial expression. I'm just thinking, like, number one, if you cut out the middleman of ad agencies, right, and can do better than that, because AI is better at targeting than any human being can become.
Right.
And dude, they're one ChatGPT partner away. If they could find a way to partner with OpenAI to get the data from, because like people use ChatGPT as their therapist,
right?
So nobody knows more about the person than ChatGPT. So they're one partnership away from saying, hey, OpenAI, let us get some of that data because we want to be able to serve your customers better and put the ads that relate to them most.
Yes.
Because before we had to use like Facebook searches and Google searches, but people are using OpenAI and ChatGPT more than they ever use Google. They're using it. It's going to know more about them than their spouse. You mean to tell me I can get to that customer with my product? Man, look.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm about to readjust my portfolio when I get home. Okay.
There we go. So you heard it first. Super bullish on Meta and all that they're doing in the foreseeable future.